and we're good. So, hello Sid and Darren, thanks for taking a moment to come and chat to me today. Can you start by telling us what your name is, although I've just said it, where you're from and how long you've played tennis and maybe a bit about how you got involved?
Yeah, well, I'm Sydney Tambin, and I live in the Newcastle area, and I actually got into tennis, I think it was probably about 6 years ago now. I originally came to a taster session at one of the Sunderland sessions, and it was taught by Wendy, and it was quite good, but at the time, I don't know, I was a bit overweight and wasn't quite as fit as I sort of at the level I was at now, so I was at college, and so I didn't really take it up much, but it was a good taster session. Then a few years ago, I think 2013, I started coming to these sessions in Jesmond, so I've been coming for quite a few years now, and on a Sunday, and it's really good socially, but also from a fitness point of view as well.
Excellent. And what about yourself, Darren?
I'm Darren. I'm Sid's brother. I started coming to sessions in Silksworth with Sydney a while ago, and then moved to the sessions in Jesmond 2013. Originally, we heard about the sessions through Actionaires quite a few years ago, actually now, and when Wendy was helping out with some other blind sports with them, and then we progressed on to Silksworth and then here. It's good socially to talk to people and other visually impaired people and kind of gauge different people's abilities within the social circle and play against them, and it's good to actually get active and play blind sport, and it's good to have people who are all inclusive as well, because not every blind sport caters for different levels of visual impairments, whereas blind tennis you've got B1s, B2s, B3s, B4s, so I think it's good to have different scales of visual impairments playing the same game, but also not to have everyone judge the same and have different rules in different kind of attitudes and rules for different people with different levels of visual impairment.
Excellent. So you kind of play within your ability, so it doesn't go. Yeah. So somebody with better vision wouldn't win a match against somebody with less.
It's all equally worked out. I think that's good.
Excellent. So Darren, just a question for you again. You mentioned there about the Actionaires clubs. Could you tell us a little bit about what they are and how you felt you got involved through Actionaires in the tennis?
Well, it's basically close links with different people. Actionaires had quite close links with the tennis association, so I found out through that Actionaires is a organisation that encourages. It's funded by Action for Blind, and it's about blind sport and getting children and young people interested in blind sport and different activities and different exercises, and basically keeping them fit, because people with visual impairments might not be as inclined to go out and do all these activities, so it's getting everyone interested in them. And so I would go, when I was a child, I would go every week and once every Saturday and do swimming in the afternoon. In the morning we would do different activities, so say trampolining, football, different goalball, learning how to play them sports and preparing for later life in sports. But Actionaires had connections with the visually impaired tennis and taught us a little bit there, and put a taster session on at Silksworth, and then Silksworth we enjoyed it, so then we continued to play for them, and we both moved to do tennis in Jesmond when the blind tennis moved here.
Excellent. That's really interesting that you've managed to progress through, a bit of a multi-activity club and then into a tennis club. So that's really good to hear. Sid, just go back to you for a second.
Yeah, sure.
Obviously, Darren mentioned a sport called goalball there, which I believe you play to quite a high standard. And you've mentioned when we asked you previously about tennis helping your fitness and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
How would you sort of describe, so somebody who plays another visually impaired sport, so somebody who's already active, how would you describe tennis to them, and how would you encourage them to come and give it a go?
I would say certainly from a point of view, because I like tennis, I really enjoy it, but I would say it's very much my secondary sport. So although I play goalball, which is probably my primary sport, I still enjoy coming here on the weekends when I haven't got other goalball commitments, because it's very good to also progress through the sport of tennis. But it's great for your fitness. Whether you're warming up, cooling down, or you're doing running around on the court, even like you're returning the ball. There's still some element of movement in there, which is still getting your body working, your muscles going, and it's just an exciting, invigorating game to play. Really, like you sort of get into it. Like it might not seem it when you watch it, but when you're actually involved and you're actually, on that court and you're waiting for the bounce of the ball coming back to you, it is actually can be challenging as well. I suppose that's one thing I like to challenge myself. I suppose, if you like a little bit of a challenge, or maybe if you don't, if you like something different, it's sort of, it's something that, people who haven't heard of vision impaired tennis before might have no idea how it works. Well, it's one good thing that, like with the Darren touched upon, it caters for all abilities. It doesn't matter whether you're totally blind, it doesn't matter whether you've got a little bit of vision, or maybe like you're only partially sighted, you might have to see quite a bit. Well, it doesn't really matter because we can cater to all needs, in vision impaired tennis, and that's one great thing about the sport. It adapts to the person.
That's really great to hear. So just another question for Darren then.
Yep.
Obviously, Darren, you come quite regularly. You get fully involved in the social side of the game as well, which I'll ask you about in a second. But I mean, I think there's been a couple of occasions, Darren, where yourself, Sid's come along. I believe your sister used to play, and I believe that your dad's actually come along as well. So, I mean, would you say it's quite nice to be able to spend that time with family through?
It is. It's definitely a family occasion sometimes, because it's actually something to do as a family. If you've got quite a few members who are visually impaired or different levels of sight within your family, I think it's definitely good to have something to come along and do together, because even if you've got a close friend who is visually impaired, and it's bonding with them, family and friends, it's something to do. It gets you out of the house, it gets you active, and even though people might say it's only tennis, you're still beating the couch potato who's just sat there doing nothing. So I think it's important to get the exercise. It's important to meet up with family and do that, and it's definitely a lot sociable as well. It's a lot more sociable than just doing nothing. It's definitely something to come along and do, something to get you out of the house. It's something to get people talking about, and people definitely are talking about it because it's worth talking about.
That's really great to hear. So last question for both of you then. Sid might want to answer first, because I think, Darren, you've had a couple of questions in a row there. What would you say to somebody who kind of thought, I'm not really sure, visually impaired tennis, it's not for me, I don't know how it works, I'm not going to give it a go. What would you say to encourage them to pick a racket up and come and try?
I think that you don't really know until you actually hear, like how enjoyable it actually can be. I think hearing a sport and actually playing a sport can be completely different. Like, I mean, any sport can be like that. Like watching goalball is totally different from playing it, for example. So I think actually just coming along and giving it a go and seeing if it's, actually for you is actually really important, because, not judging a book by its cover, rather, is probably quite important. I think, definitely, if people are thinking about it in a maybe tone, which, do I, don't I, I'm not so sure about that. Well, come along. Everyone who I've personally come into contact with, it's a very friendly bunch, very sociable, and certainly very helpful as well. Like all the coaches can offer you an advice. It doesn't matter whether you know quite a lot about tennis, or maybe you don't know any. I mean, I've seen people, especially in the 6 years that I've known this one, come in at quite a low level and progress very fast. It's one of them sports that if you're willing to give it the time of day, then you can actually, progress quite rapidly.
Brilliant, that's really good advice, just to come down, give it a go, don't have any expectations and just enjoy it, I think.
Definitely, yeah. You just I don't think, on the first session, come down and I want to win a game. It's probably not realistic talk, but maybe to have a target of, I at least want to hit the ball. Okay, it might hit the net, it might not go over the first time, but if you can track that ball, you've taken one little step towards, hopefully a very successful tennis career. And it's just set yourself small, realistic, smart target that can build up to, one big dream, essentially, is how I try to, to picture it, really. Don't rush it, and it'll happen, it'll progress over time.
Excellent. So hopefully, Sid, we'll see you taking it one shot at a time, and we might see you on centre court of the National Tennis Centre at the tennis tournament one year.
Oh, you never know. It's going to be a realistic target, definitely. Give it a few years and put the effort in, which I certainly intend to do. Then definitely that would be fantastic.
Brilliant. And Darren, what about you? What advice would you give to somebody who thinks, no, tennis isn't for me? What would you tell them?
Well, to be fair, I think explaining to someone playing tennis is a bit different from actually giving it a go, like Sid said, and playing it yourself. I mean, to put it simply, how weird was swimming the first time you heard about it? You know, like even something so simple as that. If someone told you, like, you had no idea what swimming was, you'd say, well, it's like a big bath and everyone's in it, and you all just kind of move around it together, and you're hardly wearing anything, and you all go around together. I think that sounds pretty weird. So when you're saying to someone, oh, blind tennis is a game just like normal tennis, but it's got a sound ball in it, I think it would sound quite weird. But it's only by playing the game where you actually find out how good it is, how much fun it can be, and also how much fun you can have playing it with your friends. And it can be a very social and enjoyable thing to do, even if you're not very good. I know people who aren't very good, who've progressed an awful lot to be quite competent now. But it doesn't matter what level you're at, you still have fun. So I think this important thing is to have fun and enjoy yourself.
Excellent. So come down, have fun, enjoy yourself. And I mean, I guess because it's tennis and not swimming, we need to keep our clothes on. That's probably a key message.
Yeah.
An important message.
It is that.
Yeah,
definitely.
Excellent. Well, thanks very much for taking some time to talk to me, and good luck in the rest of the tournament.
Thank you very much.
I'll just stop this recording now. Sorry, Darren, we were just doing...
Did that come out or not? Hopefully that didn't come out.
It might have done, I'm not sure.
Oh god, I'm so sorry, I didn't realise it.
No, it's alright.
Right next to us, I hope you probably did.